This week marks 50 years since one of the most heinous crimes in Saskatoon history. 4 children had gone missing in our city over the course of about a month. And then on August 12th, David Thrynen admitted to abducting these kids and killing them. And he led police to the place that he buried their bodies. So an incident like this can leave a mark on a community and the people in it. And joining me now is one of those people. Terry Scott was a young reporter working the night shift that night that David Thrynen decided to turn himself in, and he joins me now. Terry, thank you for coming on.
My pleasure. It's sad that we have to reminisce about such a story, but it is a fact. It happened, and it did. A lot of people learn some lessons from this as far as child caring and watching over their children.
Yeah, it did. It left a permanent mark. And I guess if you could start by taking us back to that summer, 1975, I think you were 17 at the time. What was the mood in the city while this was going on? Kids disappearing without a trace.
Well, yeah, it all started in mid-June when Darlene Cranfield, who was 10, and Robert Grubesic, who was 9, disappeared. And, of course, searches were underway. Their bicycles were found near the riverbank. Authorities were searching the area, searching the river. Nothing turned up. And then just a matter of weeks later, on July the 26th, we had 2 more children disappear. Kathy Scott, no relation to me. She was 7 years old. Samantha Turner, she was 8. They disappeared from Central Avenue in Sutherland. And of course, now you were wondering what's happening here. It's odd that 4 children in 2 separate instances would disappear. And the city was gripped with fear. Parents were watching over their children. You can't go out after certain hours. You've got to be with a friend. The security was something intense as far as children and their parents were concerned. The city was on edge. It truly was.
And now you had a firsthand account of one of the pivotal moments in this case. Can you tell us what it was you were up to at that time and what happened that night that David Thrynen turned himself in from your perspective?
Well, I had graduated from Nutana Collegiate, had taken the journalism program there, and I happened to start working at CKOM radio part-time during the spring, and then I was offered a full-time job when I graduated, and I was doing the evening news run at CKOM. And of course, you're monitoring the police scanners at all times for any kinds of stories. That night, there was a lot of radio activity. I'd say about 9, 10 o'clock. Lots of police activity on the radio. And then when I heard the very distinctive voice of the then police chief, Jim Kettles, come on the air and say, okay, don't touch the bodies until the coroner arrives, I went, wow, something big is happening here. Of course, you call the police, Terry Scott from CKOM, what's happening? Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing's happening. That's when I called my news director, Fred Peters, and the program director at the time, Wally Cameron, and they jumped in their cars, and we determined that there was something happening just outside of Sutherland or in Sutherland. Lots of police activity. That's when they arrived on the scene. They realized that the area was cordoned off, and they had found 2 bodies there. And that was the bodies of Darlene Cranfield and, of Kathy Scott and Samantha Turner, just northeast of Sutherland. And that's when we determined later that evening, the police at about 1 o'clock in the morning had a news conference. They confirmed that they had found 4 young bodies, and that they had a man in custody, and David Thrynen. And I had to go on the air at that time with the news that Saskatoon, this is tragic news that, we don't want to hear, but this is what happened. And to this day, 50 years later, my stomach still kind of churns when I think about that. It was a shock. It really was.
Now, you've had a storied career in journalism. How does this case rank among the things you've covered in your career? Now, you've covered international incidents and things like that, but I imagine this one still, like you said, has an impact on you.
Oh, to this day, especially so early in my career. it sticks with you. And, I can't help but think and feel for the families. I mean, these 4 kids had siblings, they had parents, and it was a trying story for them after the fact, after Thrynan admitted to these murders and other crimes as well that he admitted to. I know that it really took its toll on some of the families. And I can't help but think of the siblings who grew up without their brother or sister and how they're faring today, 50 years later.
All right, Terry, thank you so much for your insight into this piece of Saskatoon history. Of course, for more on this story and the 50-year mark on this case, go to ctvsaskatoon.ca. Terry, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.